Back row ministry, the world permit, Mr. Mahdi coming at you live and direct. So, uh, here we are. Time to pick a side. And we knew that this piece was going to come, this pick a side piece was going to come, and who was going to be on the side of right. If you listen to Dr. Valentine's video piece he had when he talked about POTUS arresting members of Congress. Remember now, the National Guard is still placed outside of Maryland, a little bit outside of New York right now. So this was supposed to happen on 111. Dr. Valentine, of course, said flip that, you get 311, but you also get 113. 113 is the number of protests. So protests in gematria is 113. Yesterday we had the beginning of the protest. They had started a little bit early, but yesterday had a lot of protesting yesterday. Trump makes the call to liberate. Liberate goes back and vibrates with 144. And we talk a lot about the 144 and who this war was really about. And it's a way to kind of activate the mind of the 144. Pick a side. Those that may be the 144, they should automatically go against the programming. Right now, if you look at the landscape, it's black and white. It's African Americans thinking one way. It's majority, you got some Caucasian Americans thinking another way. And it's not by any coincidence that the Caucasian Americans that are thinking another way are Trumpites or stated to be Trumpites. So they made it that way on purpose because you could start a race war in many different ways. And it's the creation of a race war, but it's backwards, it's twisted. You have the Democrats manipulating African Americans as they usually do, and they've used fear masterfully in this chess game, where it's to the point that you can't say anything about protest, stand up, this is BS, we need to fight for our rights, we need to take to the streets, because the first thing you hear from the African American community is be afraid, stay at home, I'm afraid. They won. They've got that programming deep into the African American community. And this is the way they've always controlled African Americans. This is why slavery was so effective, because be afraid, you'll die, we'll kill a family member, was the programming. So once you kick programming and keep that programming going, and it begins to pass on. And you see a big part of that, what I mean by that is purposely creating fear. You have the people in Michigan who, if you look at their stay-at-home order, they have the right to protest. I would protest. You're telling me I can't go to my backyard and garden. You're telling me I can't go out in the woods by myself and hike and fish by myself and practice social distancing on my own land, or go to the store and buy things that I might need to do housework with. You're telling me I can't do that. And those things you deem are not essential. So I'm saying no. Because in Jersey, I can buy those things. I can go to Home Depot and buy certain things I need to kind of fix up my house and stuff like that. They're not telling me I can't buy certain things. So this Democratic governor, once again a Democrat, is telling her people, no, you can't do that. We're going to be in total control. In a state where they only had 1,000 some odd deaths from the coronavirus. More people are recovering from the coronavirus per capita in one category. One item in one category, you only got 1,000 deaths. So she had these strenuous laws as though she's trying to get press placed on the state of Michigan, because she knew that would lead to reaction. She knew that would lead to a reaction. So you got Democrats versus Republicans. Remember now, this is still an election season. We're going towards November with this little war being played. And if you're not careful, Trump is going to win. Why do I say that? Because Trump is going to come out on the side of right in this. That's the way it's scripted. And people aren't paying attention. Like I say, look at some of my videos. I never said the coronavirus was not a real thing, because it is. I've even stated to you that on many occasions, I get a strand of this virus because I'm susceptible due to my sinuses. So it is a real thing. Is it going to kill you? No, I'm still alive. For some people, however, their immune system might not be designed or built the way that some of ours are. Those of us who constantly go through respiratory illnesses, Those of us who constantly go through sinus illnesses, our immune system has been able to take it over the years. We built some antibodies that help us fight it. So we have had real death. And for this to work, you have to have real death. You can't work with fake death. You got to have real death. Any ritual has to have real sacrifice. So we got real sacrifice, but we got bloated numbers. Got one point in New York where they're saying they're just going in people's houses, getting the bodies out, and well, we didn't count these bodies. These are people that died from COVID-19. How do they know? Did they get a test? Because on one hand, you're saying your testing system is not accurate and up and running yet. So how do you know they died from COVID-19? Got the nursing home stories. All these nursing homes. Now, everybody I know who has family in nursing homes, we had family in a nursing home, they seem to be doing all right. But the reports go out, oh, everybody's dying in the nursing home. Nobody can even go into the nursing homes. The only people that's in the nursing home are the workers. And best believe they are tested prior to even going to work. It is the layer of the media you have now who have not put out any positive stories. Look at your news. Everything has been negative. The people went to the beach in Florida. I went on Facebook and saw all the negativity, all the fear. And the sad part is that you're talking about people who are trying to live, who refuse to be boarded up in their homes, who refuse not to embrace life. But you are so afraid to embrace life, you're talking about them going to the beach, embracing life, and the beach is one of the safest places you can be right now due to you at least getting some forms of fresh air coming off that water. They have totally brainwashed people using fear, using the vibration of fear, and it's started that separation. It started the separation, and they're trying to do a racial separation. And African Americans aren't being careful with picking their side because they think, well, these folks is on our side. They've never been on our side. Look at the story in China. I told somebody yesterday they're already creating the design for the war. We got several phases of this war that we talked about over the past 2 years. We're just getting into the phase. This is World War III. It's already started. It's a phase war. We're going through several different phases of it. Got the holy war phase we have yet to get to. We got the race war phase that we're beginning to get into as they begin to make us pick sides. Got African Americans still on the side of Democrats, the Faucis of the world, and the Burks of the world, following these blood demons, people who create viruses and put them in our communities and smile in our face and talk about they're our friends. Deborah Burke, appointed by Barack Obama. Barack Obama in 2014 telling people we need to get ready for a pandemic. How the fuck does he know it's going to be a pandemic in 2014? Who the fuck is he, Nostradamus? We follow blood devils, and African Americans are quick to do this because we're too afraid. They keep us in fear. And until we come out of fear, we're never going to be truly liberated. Liberated. That's what you see how Trump picked his word, liberate. He picked his word carefully. He threw everything on the governors. He threw everything on each individual state. He basically just threw them under the bus. And they have to explain their way out of the lie, which it's going to be impossible for them to do in some senses. And in other senses, they are going to be backed by people who are so afraid to stand up for themselves because they are afraid to die. Slavery lasted so long because African Americans have always been afraid to die for change. They've always been afraid of true sacrifice for change. Nat Turner wanted true change. They let Nat just go do his thing and nobody supported him. Only a handful of people supported him and Nat died. John Brown wanted change. Only a few people supported him, and the Harper's Ferry, an African American person told on him, and that was the end of John Brown. Here we are again, African American community. The public is saying, why don't we stand for something? Why don't we tell the government to go fuck themselves for a change? And what is the African American community doing? Oh my God, they're crazy. They're out there, the beast. They're going to pass coronavirus to each other. Oh my God, everybody's going to die. And we cower in fear as we usually do. And we don't pay attention to the script. We don't pay attention to the movie. We don't look at the production. The Chinese design is coming here. They're going to blame coronavirus and say that most of the strain comes from African Americans. Watch the play. That's what the 144. Remember, they still got to find this 144. That game has not stopped. The Joker has not appeared all the way. Remember, Barack Obama is the Joker. He's the Pied Piper who's going to pipe you into the FEMA camp. And a lot of these Negroes are going to happily go. You got people on TV in Texas saying they're not going to take Bill Gates' vaccine, the mark of the beast. African Americans are going to get in line to get the shot. They got you. They had us for a long time. And we are so afraid that we can't see that they got us. They got you. What can you do? They got you. They got you through the vibration and energy of fear. Some of the most powerful energy in the world is fear. Powerful energy. You need fear because it gives us that the sense that we got to be cautious. We just can't be loosey-goosey about things. And I fear things. I fear for my family. I fear for my friends. I fear for the things that I say and how it might affect people. But at the same time, I can't let that stop me from taking stands because that's what they know. They know that from a jump that, okay, if we got him afraid to say something, afraid that something might happen to the people around him, then we got him. He's not going to speak up. That's what they feed off of. They feed off of those ideas. Every time you go outside, your family don't want you to go outside because they fear you're going to bring the coronavirus in the house. Fear. Fear stops people from taking a stand. So, like I said, I don't care what type of hat those people had on. I still think they're following a Trump-led agenda. And this agenda is separating people. This agenda is forcing people to pick sides because you're going to have to pick a side sooner or later. You ain't got no choice. And even in the African American community, people won't start picking sides. There's going to be African Americans who don't take to the programming. That little piece in Michigan really pissed me off because that was a media-driven piece. That's not no fucking doctor that was in that car. Think about it. The people in Michigan are protesting. They have a right to say what they were saying because some of the restrictions are bullshit. And here, the first people they put on MSNBC is a black man talking about I'm a first responder and I can't get to the hospital because these people are standing up for their constitutional rights. See how they played the game? And what the black people do, they jumped on the black man's side because they don't see what's being said. The only thing they see is black and white. And then they play the Caucasian people off of the African Americans by saying, well, all the cases is in Detroit, predominantly black area. They keep us at each other. And they use every thing they can use to keep us at each other. They're using this coronavirus to start a race war. And we're not paying attention to it. We're not paying attention. I'm on the side of the right. And I don't care what color we are as we come to the side of the right. Okay, let's view everything. Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the statistics. Let's look at the deaths. Let's look at what's going on. And let's make a decision on what we're going to stand on, what the principle is going to be. But I'm not going to be on the side of fear because I still got to live. I can't barricade myself in the house forever because like I told, African Americans, well, who's going to give you permission to go outside? Barack Obama? He's going to come on TV and say, African Americans, now you can go outside. Be safe. Who's going to give you the permission? When is it ever going to be safe? Memo, it's never been safe. You're always vulnerable. Every time you go outside your house, you're vulnerable. Every day, Americans, people around the world, somebody walks outside of the house and they don't come back. That's just part of life. That's called life. Everyone is not going to make it. Every day you go outside, you're vulnerable to get sick. You got people who are now afraid to get sick. You're going to get sick again. It's impossible not to get sick again. We're going to get sick. Even with our immune system being strong, we're going to get some form of sickness. You can't live a life based upon fear driving it. Because when people know that you're afraid, they can dictate your moves. It's like chess. There's 6 to 7 moves ahead of you. You're playing protect the king. You're not playing get they king. When you play chess, it's about get they king. You protect yours, but through your trying to get theirs, you put them keep them on their heels at all times. Because you're telling them that I'm willing to come after you, just like you're willing to come after me. And they got to know that. You got to know that in chess. So in this game, you got to be willing to come after them, just like they're willing to come after you. So continue watching as the country rips itself apart. And you see the southern states, they're making their push there. Hey, this is BS. We're going to reopen. You'll see a lot of these northern states, New York, continue to play games because New York is the game capital of America. All they do is play games with their people. All they do in New York is play games with their people. Because they like press. They like the lights. That's why I got Times Square. New York is all about the lights. They're just playing around with the people. Chicago. Gary Coleman as the mayor. I said it. I don't care how you feel about it. She'll play around with the people because she's placed there. She's nothing but a place puppet. That's all she is. And she's going to play the game. First thing she run out of mouth, stay home. Have y'all asked why they want y'all to stay home so bad? Why they got the celebrities preaching stay home, stay home, stay home? Is it easier to get me at the house or get me on the street? Answer that question. Where's it easier to get me? In my house where there's barely any fresh air. Because remember, I still got to open the window in the house. But I'm gonna be living with the same cooped up air 24 hours a day, wearing a mask in my own house. Wake up and look at the game. This is a game that uses real bodies, uses real people, and real decisions. And inside of this, the moves are being made. And you got to decide where you're going to be because when the script is unveiled, a lot of you aren't going to be happy. A lot of you aren't going to be happy with the side you took. You're not going to be happy with the side you took. I was taught a long time ago, the worst type of devil is the person that looks like you. Because we're quick to trust them. And we're quick to challenge. And for African Americans, we so quick to hate that we don't look at common sense. We go to hate first. And our hatred stops us from seeing common sense sometimes. Because we already been programmed. We hate Trump so much that we ain't looking at common sense. And we pointed to the fingers of all them people and said, well, they must be Trump supporters because they want to live their life. The thing that we should be doing, they're doing. They're making us look like the slaves. Us look like the puppets because we are not the government puppets. And we're going against people who are standing up for their constitutional right. Because we don't understand the Constitution because in our mind, the Constitution has never been for us. That's why we don't understand it. That's why it means so little. But it's going to mean little to people who were designed to be slaves until they come out the slave mentality and say, okay, if I'm going to say I'm American, which some of them run out their mouth and say they are, then the Constitution does mean something to you. Freedoms do mean something to you. And you see people taking your freedoms. You got to see people taking your freedoms at this point. This ain't about no goddamn virus. It never was. It's the corona, the crown. The virus is the corona. Those that are the kings are the virus. And they're about to come after the kings. That's what they're going to do. This is chess. They're coming after your king. And we're not ready to protect our king because we're too afraid to. And there's going to be some kings that get lost. Remember now, Event 201 or Event 21, in May, they come after the kings. In May, they come after the kings. Remember that piece? That was a part of Event 201. Pick it up. Event 201 on YouTube. The last part of that and its effect on the African American community. Either you can let the game get you, or you can get ready and get prepared for it. Either way, they coming. It's the Mahdi.